How's it going? This is an update from my last video, which was created all the way back to February 24th, 2021. So almost a year ago, about 10 months ago, we are finishing up 2021. It's the end of the year, and I thought it was a perfect time to do an update on my Anchor podcasting income. And the idea here is to share what is possible. And granted, I'm definitely not the biggest podcast. So this is what is possible if you just work hard, find a niche that you're passionate about, that you can really put your all into, and just consistently create content. What is possible? So I'm really excited to break this in. This is the video that I did back in February. So at that time, I had just under $1,800 in revenue. That was my payout balance right there. And this was just from the Anchor sponsorship. So things have changed since then. So I'm really excited to do that. So let's go ahead and head over to the dashboard of the podcast. So this is my podcast, the Positive Mindset Podcast. You can check it out. I recently just hit 1 million downloads. And there's actually a lot of metrics that I want to dive in later videos. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, and whether it's to make extra money or just something that you're passionate about that you want to create in, that's how I got into it. I actually wanted to take something that I loved doing when I got laid off from my job at the time, and I wanted to continue to do it. So that's why I put that energy into the podcast. It ended up being something that I could make money from, which is great. And it's honestly really powerful, the money that you can make, because it gives you a little bit of freedom, a little bit of comfort. And we're going to talk about all that today. But we recently just hit 1 million plays, which is amazing because most of that came this year in 2021. That's where the growth happened. You can actually see the chart here. I kicked it off really August-ish of 2020, but we started taking off. But then you go all the way over here to January, right there. That's the last month of last year, so about this time, to where we are now. I peaked out in the middle of October. There's been a bit of a downturn, but I think, there's always ups and downs with things like that. So all that's there. But the money, the part that you want to see, let's swing over to here. So this is how much I've earned. So $13,305.01 so far. This is like the current cash out, so I'll cash that out on Friday. But that's it. Really simple. So if you took what I was at, that 1,700 from February, I've made basically $12,000 since then. By the time the month is over and the year is over, it'll be almost $12,000 since then. And most of that money I made in February was from that beginning of the year. So I would say I can do another video really tallying out the total that I made in another video. If that's something that you would like, just comment below. I'm going to do more of this on this channel just because it seems like it's what people want. They want to know how they can be successful with Anchor. I think it's the best platform as far as simplicity, and then the ability to make revenue from it, which is great because all the stuff I use for this podcast, my microphone, my setup, my computer, was all purchased with money I made from the podcast, which is awesome. I do have extra like affiliate partnerships where I've made money with affiliate partnerships, and I would love to share that if that's something you're interested in. Comment below. I can tell you what company I use for it. There's been a few, which ones I made the most out of, some personal ones that I worked with people, because if you add all that together, the income is more for the year, and I plan on making more in total. In fact, one of the things I want to share on this channel, it's a discovery that came to me during this time, starting this podcast, being laid off, going back to work, like all those things. It's really important for me, and maybe for you, to have a extra source of income, especially in something that you're passionate about. If you can figure out a way to monetize something that you love doing, then your energy for it will probably be in a good place, meaning you're doing it because you love sharing what you're doing, and then the money part allows you to do it more. So whether you're somebody that just wants some extra money to pay some bills, to use for investments, or to go in full time and leave your job, my goal for 2022 is to share a road to 100K. So the goal is by this time next year, have built up income outside of my work that is $10,000 a month, because for me, that is hugely game-changing money. And for most people, that would allow them, if they wanted to keep their job, which I'll be working at my job this whole time, unless something happens there. I plan on working my full-time job. So this is all stuff that I would be doing outside of that. and I'm married and I have 2 kids. So this is stuff that's done in small amounts of time, making it work. And so I'm just going to share that journey along. So if you're interested, subscribe, follow along. But to sum up the video, $13,000 in almost a year from Anchor. Learned a lot. There's a lot of stuff that I did in the beginning that I learned to change as the time went on that you could avoid. And so we can get into all that. So good luck next year in 2022. If you're thinking about starting that Anchor podcast, go after it. Might as well. If you're passionate about it, have fun, enjoy it, and you can make some money along the way, which is great.